In this video, I'm going to talk about overloading operators. And when we talk about operators, I'm talking about things like plus, minus, divide, and so on. Oh, and the equality operator, so equals, equals, greater than, less than. In maths, it's very easy. If I do something like this, so let's have a little look. So imagine I've got some value A, and I go 4 plus 3. We know that what's going to happen is it's going to add 4 and 3 in a mathematical sense and copy the answer into A. So we're going to store 7 in A. And that's fine for anything where we're using the base types in a programming language. However, imagine that we want to represent sets. Now, we know sets as just groups and collections of things that are the same. So what I've done is I've created a class called a set. And I'm going to store my values. Now, this is just going to be a set of integers just to keep it really simple. But a set is effectively just going to be a list of values that are of type int. Okay. Now, this is sort of fairly basic stuff in C#. So if you're not sure how to use lists, go into C#. And we can create sets by just adding the value, and it will add it to my list, and so I'll have a list of sets. And I suppose really I should just do this, because one of the features of a set is that you can't have duplicate values. So I'm basically saying I'm going to use this, but I'm going to say if it doesn't exist. So if not, the values contains the value, then we can add that to our set. Okay, so we always just have values that are we only have one of each value in our set. Okay, right, so nice and easy. So here we go. So let's create a set 1, and we'll put into there 2, 5, and 6. And now we'll add another set, and in that we'll have 1, 2, and 3. And notice that 2 is duplicated in both sets. Now, we could create a function, another function here called add. We could overload this, because imagine that I want to do something like this. Set 3 equals set 1 plus set 2, right? Trouble is, that doesn't work because that's not an integer and that's not an integer, or that's not a string and that's not a string. And so it doesn't know how to add these two class types together. Now we could create a function called add, that takes a set, and I'll just say, a new set, something like that. Okay, and it does something or other, and then just returns. But it would be a bit rubbish, because what we'd have to do is we'd do something like set1 dot add set2, and we'd have to do something like that. And it's a bit meh. It's very confusing. It's so much nicer to be able to do something like that. That makes sense. Everyone understands what that means. And if you're in maths, you understand that if you add these two sets together, what we're going to end up with is 2, 5, 6, 1, 3. Not necessarily in that order, but we're going to have a group that is those. We're not going to add the 2 twice. Well, we can do that in programming. We're not going to use this awful way. We're going to do it a different way. So we're going to go like this. Now, it has to be static. Don't ask. It's going to return a set, and it's going to be called operator plus. And we're going to take this one here is going to be the left-hand side. Actually, hang on, set 1 and set 2. Now, yes, so that's how we're going to do it, I think. Now, at this point here, I'm just going to have to have a quick look, because I've got reference here. And please forgive me, but I just need to kind of just check. Right, okay. So usually that's the left side and the right-hand side. Okay. Right. Okay. So here we go. So here is how to do this. So here's how we implement this. So what we want to do is we're going to create a new set. So this is going to be my new set, and it's going to equal a new set. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say for each, so when we have the left and the right, this is the left, that's the right, okay? And this is a form that we can use, and I'm just going to return new set. Just hopefully, yes, brilliant. So the error's gone away there, so that's fine. So now we've just got to do the actual copying. So here we go. So we're going to say for each int value, there we go, in the left-hand side. So let's do the left-hand side first. all we're going to do is add everything from the left-hand side into our new set, because we're going to take all of those values. However, for the right-hand side, I'm just going to copy this, because we're going to iterate through the right side. What we're going to do is we're basically going to say if it's not, so if the new set, and it's the set values, because that's the list, contains the value, so if it doesn't contain it, then we can add it. So new set values, add the value, otherwise it won't add them. Just do that. So we've added to our new set all the values in the left hand side, this one here. We've also added all of the values in the right hand side, but only the ones that we haven't already added, and then we return the new set. And now if you look at my code, you'll see that there are no errors under this. So let's just see this working. So if we just do a little run. So set 1 has 2, 5 and 6. Set 2 has 1, 2 and 3 in it, just as the code does. And if I run this now, and if I I'm just going to step over it, I'm not going to go into it. You can do this in your own time if you want. But if you look now, set values, we've got 2, 5 and 6, so that's come from here. But also, we've got 1 and 3. It's not added 2 twice, it's only added once. Now if you wanted to sort this, you could do, but it doesn't really matter from the purposes of sets, we don't really care. So we've now got this wonderful system now where we have got the addition of 2 sets. And we can use this to overload pretty much any of our operators. We could overload subtraction, so we could do set difference. We could even, I'm just trying to think, you could use something like this to kind of create a union or an intersection, but maybe you might just use a typical function to do something like that. But you can also do things like that. So you can use greater than or less than or that sort of thing, or even something like that. Now, different operators do have slightly different forms, but if you go on the internet, you can find out how to do them. It's really more a case of use this, here is an idea, and go away and take that idea and do cool stuff with it. All right, enjoy.